Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Anime Symbol. And today I'm going to be giving you part 3 of What If Naruto Was the King of the Curses, Sukuna. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends in social media platform. And also guys, the video below this one I laid out the schedule of what I'm going to be doing. So go ahead and listen to that guys. So yeah, remember to get this to 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the brand new series over on Anime King 3 of What If Naruto Was Neglected with solo leveling system, and enjoy that guys. So yeah, without further ado or wasting more time, let's jump right into this. Begin now guys. So the last part that we had left off, Iruka was terrified after seeing what Naruto had did to Mizuki. Yes, Mizuki was a traitor and all, but the way that Naruto killed him was so brutal, and the fact that Naruto was laughing as he stomped into his head was truly terrifying. He spoke to the Hokage as he believed that Naruto should not graduate from the academy, that he should not be placed on a team with other civilian kids. Iruka was actually afraid of this boy. He wanted to know if the Hokage ever believed that the fox might have changed his personality as a whole. To this date, no one knew the true origin of the tailed beasts. They knew that they possessed great power, but they did not know exactly what they were. And after what Iruka had witnessed, he was petrified in fear. Something was wrong with him. Hiruzen actually agreed with that. He has tried for years now to help Naruto, to reach out to him, but all the boy did was show him hostility. And always, he was so rude. However, he would be keeping a better eye on him, but he was hoping that he would be able to adapt and become more like the children around him, like how he was going to be on a team. That is what he hoped, because he had no other options. He didn't know what else to do. So with that, it didn't take too long for the day to start. As Naruto was placed on Team 7, Sakura was afraid. She was afraid of Naruto from day one. The kids had heard terrible things, not to mention he has proven himself as a bully and someone not to be messed with or even talked to in a bad way. So many of them had decided to steer clear away from him, out of fear. He had even broke Hiba's nose. He fought Sasuke on several occasions, and every time they fought, Naruto wounded Sasuke hard, breaking his arm, its leg, or something else, to show that he was not someone to mess with, till they stopped having him fight in the academy. However, Kakashi did not arrive until late, as Naruto had left. When Kakashi finally decided to find him, Naruto told him that he wasn't here for his bullshit. After all, if he wanted to waste his time, he would waste his as well. However, eventually he went with the man, as they went back to the school. As they were told to explain themselves, but Naruto did not give an explanation about himself all the time, making Sasuke and Sakura knew that he did not give a damn about them as well. It shows with the way he react and act around them. And that was not something that would seem to be changing anytime soon. Sometime after that, they had regrouped once again the next day. It was time for their little test, as Naruto arrived rather late. as he wasn't going to be wasting his time after all. Kakashi told them all to come at him with the intent to kill. That brought a happy smile to Naruta's face. That is exactly what he was looking for. So with that, they started the battle. As they clashed amongst one another, Kakashi was actually shocked, as Naruto was getting stronger and faster the more they fought. It was almost like he was adapting to his abilities. However, as the battle dragged on, Naruto felt himself being outweighed by the man. He needed more power. So he reached deep inside of him as he searched for that warmth, that feeling. Searching and searching, Naruto found something waiting inside of him, ready to come out. When he released just a tiny bit of it, Kakashi and the others were petrified at the pure killer intent, the raw natural hate that he possessed. It was truly terrifying. However, Naruto stopped. Despite him acting that way, he wasn't an idiot. He knew that the old man would want to do something stupid as do a team bonding test or something like that. So he went to find the others, as he had to knock out Sakura because she was annoying. They did the test as they eventually passed. Kakashi had to pass them, it was orders. Yes, he was doing his test, but well, at least he saw them working together. Over the next month, a lot happened. For one thing, Hiruzen got serious on Naruto, as Naruto had threatened to kill everyone when they were telling him to do the D-rank missions. Hiruzen told him that he has to do it. He got serious and loud to show that he was a leader and Naruto was a child. However, something strange happened that moment. All of Naruto's emotions vanished. He seemed to return to a calmer state. Hiruzen was rather surprised by that. Since then, Naruto has been doing the missions without any problem. He's still nasty in attitude-wise, but he's not been stopping the missions on purpose. He's not been attacking people or doing all sorts of things like he usually do. However, Hiruzen did not know that Naruto was plotting his death. Yes, he was going to kill the old man sooner than later. He was just waiting for his right opportunity. We then time skip as a month passed by, as Kakashi wanted to take the team outside the village to see how they would handle a real threat, to see if that would push them to work together. That is when Sai came across Naruto, as Sai already knew about the missions that they would be doing tomorrow, as Sai told him that his master was high up in the food chain. However, this would be his opportunity to let loose. On this mission that he was going to take, his master had a mission for Naruto to do. It involved a lot of killing. With that going on, the same white-haired girl from earlier was still trying to find a way to free her master. Her master, whoever he was locked away somewhere. And he was powerful, judging from the way that she spoke about him, like he was some kind of demon god or something. She said that she will free him soon enough, and this world would never be the same ever again. So yeah guys, basically that's what I thought. You guys can switch across the play, check it out for yourself. Don't forget to go ahead and check out the other what ifs of the other channels. Yes, I indeed have 4 of them which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and smash that red subscribe button and become a part of the Making family. Links will be down in the description. So yeah, without further ado, let's begin this now guys. We begin this episode on the road to the land of Wave. The bridge builder known as Tazuna had hired Konoha to help him finish his bridge and to protect him from bandits and weak thugs. It was a normal C-rank mission. However, Tazuna seemed terrified. His eyes kept on glancing over towards Naruto. There was a reason for that. Earlier, he made a comment about each of the members, and Naruto threw a kunai to his head. Kakashi had to step in and deflect the weapon, after reprimanding Naruto that he should not attack the client. Since then, Naruto kept on giving the man dirty looks. Tazuna was afraid, as this kid really scared him. Maybe he just pissed off the wrong person. Team 7 had not been getting along. Yes, they have been doing missions, but in terms of friendship, Sasuke didn't want anything to do with them. All he wanted was to revenge his clan. Sakura was hopelessly in love with Sasuke, and all she wanted to do was be with him. And Naruto did not give a damn if any of them live or die, as he's made that very clear so far. And that is really bad for a growing team. They will not survive long like this. Sakura did not like the quiet as she started to ask about the Land of Wave and their military strength. While that was going on, Naruto picked up on something. He could feel the vibrations in the earth as he glanced downward to see a puddle. He said nothing though, as he just kept on walking. He then heard the sound as he turned around to see Kakashi ripped apart. Sakura screamed. She screamed out as she saw her sensei turn into mush. Sasuke quickly got ready to defend the client as he jumped in the way. The demon brothers had their chains locked together as they moved forward. They were intending on running through all the Genins and including the client. That was until they met the first resistance, as Naruto grabbed the chain, holding both of the lengths. That is when he pulled on the right one. Miyaizu was yanked forward with shocking speed. He could not react. Gozu saw what was going to happen as he stepped forward to end the blonde from hurting his brother, as he saw the blonde fingers tense. Gozu then drive his bladed gauntlet forward. However, Naruto ducked. Gozu's eyes went wide as he tore into his own brother's face with his gauntlet. Blood splashed all over him. He was horrified. Naruto was grinning the entire time before he came back upwards with an uppercut. Gozu's head snapped to the heavens, tears flying upwards from him just disfiguring and ending his own brother's life. Before he could react, he felt a pain unlike any other. He slowly looked down, blood dripping from his mouth as his brother's gauntlet had tore into his chest. Naruto had used his brother's arm. His head slumped as the both of them collapsed down. One face mutilated and the other one chest torn apart, as some blood splashed on Naruto as he looked down with a grin on his face. Looking up, Sakura was trembling in fright and fear. Her face turned green as she threw up right there. Even Sasuke backed away from the grin that Naruto had on his face. Naruto started to flex his fingers, feeling a sense of wonder and bloodlust. Kakashi arrived as he stood in front of the two, looking at Naruto, who seemed to relax. Naruto looked down at the two bodies. "What a shame," he said, "to be killed by your own brother. I wonder how they're feeling in hell," he said with a grin. The two teammates of his were terrified. This wasn't normal. As Kakashi stepped forward, "Good job on stopping them, Naruto," he said. "However, your way of stopping them was a bit unorthodox. That was not something that you had to do. Well, they were trying to kill us. And for a moment there, I thought that you had died. You know, it was funny. I was saying how pathetic you were to be killed by these bunch of weaklings, but it was all a little test for us, wasn't it?" "I see you figured that out," Kakashi said, as he created a clone to dispose of the bodies. The sight was horrifying as Naruto watches it to work. "Go away." "So who's next?" said Naruto. "Who do we have to kill?" Sakura was still trembling. Sasuke was uncertain about this guy. He heard the rumors, he heard that he was bad, but this was just psychotic. Yes, he killed the enemy, but in the way that he killed them and the fact that he was laughing the entire time, that was not natural in any sense of the word. Before we continue on, it seems like something is not right here. "What do you mean?" said Naruto. Kakashi turned towards Tazuna. "Isn't that right, Tazuna-san?" I don't know what you're talking about. Spill it, old man, said Naruto, or you're next. Tazuna started to spill everything that lead him to contacting Konoha. After it was said, Kakashi turned towards his team. Usually, we should be going back to the village right now, however. I'm going to give the chance to my Genins, he said. Do you guys want to continue on this mission, he said, looking towards them. Naruto stepped forward as Tazuna was trembling. However, Naruto was smiling. Of course, he said. The old man here has given us a wonderful opportunity to cleanse his land of all these diabolical people. What kind of ninjas would we be if we just left them to rot and die? I thought Konoha was a good village, he said, looking towards Kakashi. Unfortunately, though, you're not the only one that has a say in this. Well, the other two would agree. I mean, Sasuke does want to test himself against strong people. How about it, Sasuke? Next time, you get to take down the opponent. Sounds fun, doesn't it? As he saw Sasuke thinking about it. See? There is one more person, said Kakashi. Oh, come on. You know once Sasuke is going, she has to be going as well. Isn't that right, Sakura? I have a mind of my own. You know that, right? She said. Well then, make up that pretty little mind of yours, said Naruto. Time skip. The group was on a boat, as Naruto was at the head, as he took in the fresh air. For some reason it feels so wonderful, he thought to himself. The coldness, the feeling of dread in the air, despair, sadness. It felt truly wonderful. Now this is a kind of mission that he has been looking forward to. Once they got off the boat, they started to walk. As they arrived, the place was filled with so much mist they could barely see. That is when they heard something in the bush. The next moment, the bush was sliced to pieces. Sakura and Sasuke blinked in confusion as they turned towards Naruto. Once they saw what the culprit was, it was a rabbit, split in two. What have you done? Said Sakura. Oh my, said Naruto. His voice was filled with sarcasm. I killed a poor defenseless animal. I'm so upset with myself. What have I become? He said. Sakura glared at him. After what he just did, he had the nerve to say something like that, in that tone. Kakashi I though was rather observant. Duck, he said. Upon saying that, a blade came whipping forward. Kakashi tackled the client down. Sakura and Sasuke dropped down to the ground. Naruto on the other hand smirked as he waited. He then flipped up in the air. Before he reached down and grabbed the handle, he was yanked until he slammed his foot into the ground. He then slammed the blade hard into the ground, stopping its momentum. As Naruto ripped it out of the earth, raising it with one hand. And what is this? He spun and swept the blade through the sky, forcing the ninja to flip away as he was trying to retrieve his blade. The ninja landed not too far away. He was not pleased, having his entrance messed up and this brat catching and holding on to his blade. He was upset, angry. Well, well, well. What do we have here? Said Naruto. A trusty piece of blade, isn't it? As Zabuza was not pleased. Hand that over, brat, he said. Or else. Or else? Are you threatening me? Said Naruto. Well, seems you're more than just stupid. Zabuza growled. I mean, after all, who the hell threw their blade at their enemy? When you did that, you gave away your prized possession. Because I can tell that this is quite special. Not any ordinary blade. And you gave it right to me. So if someone were to say, Uchiha, said Naruto, melt this, as he tossed it up in the air. Sasuke, seeing his opportunity to do something, flashed through hand sign. Zabuza leaped forward as Kakashi clashed, knocking him back down to the ground. Fire style. Fireball Jutsu! Sasuke hit it with an intense dose of flames. However, to their surprise, the blade fell down. It was not destroyed. Zabuza created two water clones as they leaped towards Kakashi, as he made a beeline for his weapon, leaping and jumping over towards it. That was until Naruto arrived and sliced. The blade was split in half. Naruto grabbed the top half and spun. He then launched it away as it was sent sailing. He then picked up the other half and lifted it up in the air. A strange, ominous aura surrounded it. This was definitely not chakra. He then brought it down to the ground and boom! It exploded into tiny little pieces. Zabuza stopped in his tracks. All that was left was the handle. Naruto applied a tremendous amount of force and crushed it into tiny pieces as he tossed them away. He did all of that with a smile on his face, for no reason than to piss off whoever this guy was. A feeling of bloodlust and death slammed into the three of them. Tazuna passed out instantaneously. Sakura dropped towards her knees, breathing heavily. So did Sasuke, as they were barely standing, and that was just because they were not a civilian. Naruto, on the other hand, was grinning. Zabuza was rushing towards him, but Kakashi kicked him in the face with a brutal force. He took his eyes off the prize. He slammed against the ground several times. Kakashi launched two kunais and went to hand sign. They multiplied. Zabuza's eyes went wide as he was impaled. He slammed into the ground hard before rolling. His body was skewered with weapons. Kunais. Even one got him right in the cheek. Good thing that he brought his hand up at last moment to protect his heart and his head. Well, not all of it, as he got stabbed in both of the arms. Kakashi arrived over him, kunai in hand, as he drove it towards his chest. However, at that moment, Zabuza was hit in the neck. He then collapsed. Kakashi turned his gaze as he saw an individual crouching down on the branch, watching him. The person leaped down towards where Kakashi was, revealing that it was a person clad in a mask, gender unknown. Thank you for your assistance. I have been chasing this fugitive for some time now. Kakashi realized that it was a hunter named from Kiri. However, before he could say a word, the ninja had to jump away as Naruto's feet smashed into the ground. Naruto turned on his heel as he shot straight forward, arms extended. The ninja had to pull back with a tremendous amount of speed, but Naruto was not done. He vanished in a blur. The ninja was startled as Naruto appeared, both of his hands extended forward to snap the individual's neck. Immediately, senbons dropped in their palm as they launched it towards Naruto. Naruto tore them apart as he stepped forward in the individual guard, only for his body to pass through a mirror as he was dumped into the ocean nearby. Kakashi arrived on the scene as the ninja melted away into a mirror, quickly grabbing Zabuza and making their way off. He quickly moved towards the ocean to make sure that Naruto was okay. The whole water exploded outwards as Naruto came out wet. "Where is he?" Naruto said, looking around. Kakashi stood there. "He's gone," he said. "How did you know that he was an imposter?" Naruto blinked. "An imposter?" Kakashi looked at him. "You did not know, did you? You just randomly attacked him because you felt like doing so." Naruto ignored his statement. "The next time I see him, I'll rip him apart," Naruto said with a toothy grin. Time skip. Zabuza reawakened after the near death-like state. He tried to move. "Easy, Zabuza-sama. Your body is still tense after that." "How many times have I told you not to do that crap?" Zabuza said, trying to move his neck. "If I had not, you would be dead right now." Zabuza clenched his fist as much as he could. "That damn blonde brat. Screw the bridge builder. Screw Kakashi. The moment I'm back on my feet, I'm gonna kill him first, Zabuza said with a dark glint in his eyes. Time skip. They arrived towards the house, where they met the daughter of Tazuna. Her name was Tsunami, an all-around nice woman. They were gonna be staying there for the time being. Kakashi told him that Zabuza was pretty much alive and he would be coming back, so they had to be ready. For today they will rest. For the remainder in time they will train, so they can be there to protect the bridge builder and also handle this other ninja that is with Zabuza. Because they were an oddity. After seeing that strange ability with the mirrors, Kakashi was not fully sure what exactly that was. Later that night though, as Naruto was sleeping, he felt something on his arm as he looked over to see that it was a small little mouse made from ink. As he followed said mouse through the window and made his way into the forest area, that is where the masked boy landed right in front of him. Finally, said Naruto, I was starting to get bored. I am here, with the parameters of the mission that my master has sent for you. Just tell me what it is already, said Naruto. Your job is simple, something that you seem well suited for. You are to kill all of the subordinates of Gato and leave the rest to me. My master needs him alive. However, there's a lot of subordinates. Would you require any help? Naruto scoffed. If I see you trying to help, I'll rip both of your arms off and feed them to you. Now tell me, where is this Gato located? Follow me. As he took off, Naruto went after him. He was looking forward to having some fun, because he has been getting bored. They had to run to another island completely. The Land of Wave was a big island, but there were several islands surrounding the area. Unlike normal chakra Naruto, cursed energy, he can use it to stick to all sorts of things, water included, so it wasn't a problem for him to run across the water as they made their way. Finally they arrived towards the island, and deep within, there was a former residence of the leader of the islands, a daimyo of sorts. The man was actually the one that sold out his own lands to get money. Yes, he allowed Gato to kidnap and run drugs through the land as long as he paid him well. However, Gato took incriminating evidence of him allowing to do these things and forced him to resign from his position, kicking him out of his own massive compound which was now under Gato's control. They stopped in the forest area as Naruto saw 3 outposts with standard bandits standing on it waiting and observing the area. He's inside as we speak, inside of the center tower, located at the 3rd floor. Remember, do not kill him. Everyone else is fair game, but we need him alive. Do you understand me? Speak to me like I'm an idiot one more time, and I'll tear out your tongue, said Naruto. As he walked away, he then vanished, using pure speed. Sai just sat where he was, observing from here. Meanwhile, the 2 guards were playing cards amongst themselves. The others were simply discussing a few things. That is when one of them felt something. He looked down, but he wasn't sure what it was. Vibrations. As he looked outside, that is when he saw someone hanging on to the sentry post. He was about to say something until his head was split clean off. The other guard saw his friend leaning over a bit too much. Keep doing that and you're gonna fall. And it's not gonna be pretty, he said. However, there was no response. Hey, it's your turn. What the hell are you doing? He walked over towards his friend as he smelled. Was that blood? Before he could say something though, his jugular was ripped out. He started to gasp and choke as he collapsed. Naruto flipped inside as he put the 2 bodies down before he made his way towards the other posts, annihilating them without a sound. He landed square center inside with a smile on his face His nails were dark and long, able to rip and tear into flesh. As Naruto walked casually, his gaze surveying the area as he could see all of them around, he liked to introduce himself. Naruto gripped the side of his shirt as he proceeded to tear it off. The grin on his face, his malicious curse energy started to spring out of his body in a chaotic form. He didn't move. 3 ninjas up ahead were standing in his path. They saw the blur coming towards him as they held out their weapons. However, their heads were removed as he passed them. Laughter could be heard as Naruto leaped and jumped. He kicked a guy so hard he broke through the building, his head smashing upon impact. He split a guy straight down the middle. Naruto jumped through an entire building, causing it to collapse. Granted, it was not that big, however, he cut the support beams. Several individuals were crushed under the force. As Naruto laughed, leaping up into the air, he then came down and smashed the ground, rooting up hundreds of stones and debris. The ninjas were trying to regroup as Naruto grabbed the arm and ripped it clean out of the socket before he used the bones and drive it into another's eye. It was pure chaotic as he moved, carving death and destruction in his wake. In the center building, Gato looked through the window as he shouted toward the 2 guards behind him. "What is going on?" "Sir, it seems like we have an intruder." "Then stop him already." However, Gato heard something as the window in front of him shattered, causing him to hunker down as glass flew everywhere. He got sliced in the arm and across the face as well. He turned towards his 2 men as he saw their heads looking at him. They were removed from their body parts. Standing in front of him was a mere boy. Who are you?" said Gato. "I am the one that is here to fetch you," said Naruto. As he could hear the others rushing towards the door, he held his hand out as he was able to release his curse energy. It slammed the door shut as Naruto felt them pounding and banging against it, but he still held it shut, waiting for the right moment. Gato was terrified as he tried to run, but there was nowhere to run. The door was closed, and he could not jump from this height. All of his men were regrouping at the door. There was a lot of them as Naruto waited until the last few men had came, their numbers ranging up into the hundreds. That is when he smiled. Gato saw light, fire. That was the last thing he saw before pure darkness. When Gato opened back his eyes once again, as he wasn't sure what just happened, the entire building was burning to smithereens. As he was being held by the snuff of his shirt, he was in mid-air as he started to scream. "Shut the hell up," said Naruto as he slapped him across the face with enough force to knock him out. Naruto crashed into the side of a building. He slammed his nails into it, using it to slow himself down. As he jumped down on the ground, throwing Gato to the side. As Naruto held both of his hands out, the nearby buildings started to collapse and crash into one another. The flames spread, bodies were burning. The screaming could be heard of many who had not fallen completely. It was pure chaotic and Naruto was enjoying every single blissful moment of it. Sai stood there, watching the whole scene. His master had told him to watch the boy keenly on how he deal with things, and this was a bit too much. This was pure destruction and chaos for someone that just liked to have destruction and chaos. As Naruto walked out, the entire place burning behind him, Sai dropped down in front of him as he threw Gato body down on the ground. Sai stepped forward, however Naruto stepped in front of him. "Listen to me and listen to me good. The next time you show your face to me, and it's not you inviting me to speak to your boss, I'm gonna kill you," said Naruto. "I'm done with this secretive bullshit. So the next time you show up, you better be leading me to your boss. Or else, as I said, well, you get it. Death." With that, Naruto started to walk away, like nothing had just happened. Meanwhile that was going on, the same white-haired girl from before, found herself inside of a massive, open area. There were strange candles on the walls. The place felt unusual, like it was tainted with darkness and death. The feeling was one of bloodlust and chaos. As she stepped forward, in front of her were people, a lot of them. However, they all wore a grey hood, covering their face, as they were on their knees, bowing down. Because in front of her was a statue of a man. Not just any man though. He had 4 arms and 2 faces. Strange black markings over his body. That was how detailed the statue was. As he stood high and proud, they were all bowing to the statue. As it was some sort of ritual. They worship him like he was some sort of god. They bowed to him, kneeling their heads. The woman stood there. "Rise," she said to them. They all got to their feet, looking towards her with great respect. Thousands of our subordinates, hundreds of thousands, have been locked away for a very long time now, including our Lord as well. We are the only ones that were able to prevent the sealing ritual by taking on these bodies that has served us well for the past thousands of years. And we are closer than ever to completing our ritual, to revive our fallen comrades and our Lord himself, for him to change this world into what it once was, where we were on top, where we were the ones that rule, where the humans were our praise and we were the predator, she said. They all chanted at that. The cursed energy in the room seemed to skyrocket. It's only a matter of time. We have waited this long. We will plunder and destroy anyone that stands in our way of reviving our Lord. All that is left is that we gather the remaining beasts. Each of them is transcribed with a part of the seal that keep our Lord and people at bay. That cursed Sage of Six Paths made sure of that, and they've been locked away and kept away from us for thousands of years now. But no longer. We are finally in a stable area where we're able to gather them all. And once we do, our great Lord Sukuna will be revived and take this world for what it was. All of them shouted and chanted, shouting their Lord's name. Sukuna, Sukuna, they said. She looked down towards them. It's only a matter of time now. She was restricted, majority of them were, because of his cursed body. However, she had chosen someone that looked similar to her own features when she was what she was. But soon enough she would shed this body once the seal is broken. Because if she were to shed it right now, the seal will call for her. That damned sage was more proficient in sealing arts than any of them could have thought. He was the one that did this all, and she would not rest until that seal is destroyed. It's only a matter of time before their Lord Sukuna ravaged through the streets, before he claimed the world as it once was once again. It would be true paradise, she thought, as all of the followers chanted. Time skip back to the land of Wave. Kakashi questioned Naruto on where he had been. All of Naruto's answers were vague though, and it would be hard to get them out of him if Kakashi wasn't willing to just basically torture him to get the information. But he wouldn't do that now, as Naruto counted on that. Well, if he tried, of course he would fight back, and one of them would end up dead. The remainder of the days went by rather quickly. There was one incident though that caused Inari to wet himself. The group was currently eating. None of them were aware that Naruto already killed Gato. They had no idea. They were currently eating as the boy was grumbling. Kakashi has been training them on, well, tree walking. To his surprise, Naruto was already able to do that. And then he wanted to train him on water walking. Naruto pretended like he did not know because Kakashi was too annoying for him to deal with. So he acted like he could not do it, so the man would leave him and go to the others to help them with the tree walking. So with that, Iniri had made a fuss. As he started to grumble, they glanced towards him. He started to tell them how Gato was gonna kill them all. He was annoying and it was pissing Naruto off. Kakashi was glancing towards Naruto the entire time, as Naruto was holding a knife and fork. Rather strangely, the way his gaze fell on Iniri, Kakashi felt it for a split second as he launched his own knife forward. It clashed with Naruto's. As it stabbed into the wall, missing Iniri, the child was trembling as everyone turned their gaze towards Naruto. What, he said, if he's gonna kill all of us, then he's gonna kill you as well, right? So I might as well just do it right now, Naruto said, getting up. Kakashi got to his feet as well, as he gave Naruto a stern glare to stand down immediately. Naruto snorted. This man really believed that he was afraid of him and his stupid gazes. But for now, Naruto decided to just walk off. Yes, he walked off. Where are you going, Kakashi asked. For a walk, to clear my head. As he left the house, leaving everyone in shambles. Iniri had ran upstairs. The front of his pants was wet as he had wet himself, in fear. Just to look of that boy's eyes had terrified him to no end. Time skip. Haku was currently looking for some herbs to aid his master, as he was currently going through the area, picking up a few things when he came across someone. He was rather surprised when he saw the individual, as he instantly recognized who it was. It was the same boy who had attacked him. He saw that gaze for a split second, but it was engraved into his mind. Neither Haku or Zabuza were aware that Naruto had burned Gato entire empire down to the ground, along with the man that he had under his control. Zabuza was not in a good condition and Haku already wanted nothing to do with that man, so he would not go over there and investigate or do anything. As he walked over towards the boy, it would be so easy to end him right now. He was sleeping. It would be so easy to just kill him right now and get this over with. As he reached his hand down to grab him by the throat, until he decided to shake his shoulder instead. Hey, wake up, he said. What followed was something that Haku would have never expected. Everything went dizzy. The world seemed to spin. Blood was dripping down his forehead. He was staggering on his feet, confused to what had hit him. Haku got up, only to feel something bash across his head. He dropped down to his knees. However, the person did not allow him to pass out. They grabbed him by the throat and picked him off the ground. He was hit several times in his stomach. Blood poured out of his mouth. His nose was shattered. His right arm was snapped. His chest cavity was broken in. He was being assaulted at a fast pace that his mind could not even keep up with. He found himself desperately gasping for air as he couldn't breathe. He was struggling to breathe. He tried his best, but the breath was not coming to him as he trembled on the ground. He was then picked up by the hair. He tried to raise his other hand, but it was snapped as he screamed. A blood-curdling scream from all the injuries that he had sustained so far. As he found himself looking into those eyes, they stared into his soul. What kind of fool do you take me for, said Naruto. Did you really think I would not recognize you, even in this stupid getup that you're wearing now? Well, you were wrong. Horribly, horribly wrong. And for that, well, you're gonna suffer. Haku's head was repeatedly bashed against the ground. He was kicked into the forest. He slammed through several trees. Haku glanced up. As he was trembling, he could barely see. He felt a heat unlike any other. A blood-curdling scream left his lip as he was fried alive, burned into nothingness. Naruto stood there as he dusted off his hands. He then jumped straight up in the air. He leaped so high he was able to clear the entire forest. As he looked around, searching, he then landed before he ran, with tremendous speed clearing the forest as he leaped over trees and ran. It did not take too long for him to arrive towards the location. Haku had gave it away by coming here. Naruto's senses were far stronger than, and Inuzaka far stronger than even their dog. It was immensely powerful. As Naruto slowly walked, it was a hollow tree. It was large on the inside as it went underground. Walking up towards it, Naruto calmly made his way down. On the inside, Zabuza was still awake. His body was tremendously weak. As he heard movements, something was wrong though. The feeling that he got was not one of Haku. It was like he could not pick up on exactly what this was, as it was strange and confusing. He then felt it vanish. The sensation, not the feeling of the thing. Looking around confused, he cried out. Something slammed into his gut. He looked down to see that the iron pipe had pierced through his stomach and pinned him down. He couldn't believe who had the force to do something like this with such ease. As he tried to look up, his left eye was ripped out of its socket. He tried to move his arm, however, the person stepped right into his shoulder blade. There was a cracking sound as bones broke under the force. Zabuza looked up as he saw a boot. The next thing he knew, it kept on pounding into his skull. That was the last thing that he ever saw, as Naruto did not stop until there was nothing left. His nails were as long as he tore and slashed, enjoying the hunt and the kill. This was what he was talking about. To be out and free, this sensation. To bathe this world into chaos and destruction. The world was too peaceful right now. He needed to fight the best. He needed to challenge the best. He needed to have his life on the line. He needed to submerge the world in darkness. Everything went black as Naruto collapsed, face first. He found himself in a strange location that he could not understand. What he saw though was darkness. He then remembered where he was. He's been here before. Stepping confidently despite the looming darkness, Naruto arrived towards his location. And his location was cage. Yes, a cage. To this day, he was not sure what was inside of that cage. However, this time he had a more grasp on the situation. As he saw the hand emerge, it seemed pale, black markings all over it. Naruto stepped forward as he grabbed said hand. However, the hand nails tore into his flesh. He winced slightly, but he tore his nails back into the hand, trying to make it receive the same pain, but there was not even a flinch. He tried to pull the thing out. The more he pulled, the more his mind was hit with so much memories, as Naruto saw himself. However, despite not looking anything like him, he knew that was him. He was standing on a cliff, 4 arms extended to the world, 2 faces. Below him was creatures, ghouls, monsters. They were deformed, powerful and destructive. It was an army. He turned his gaze forward. Standing there was a man with strange black balls behind him. Another man was to his side as their outfit was similar. He could not see their faces though. It was still blurry. However, behind them was a monstrosity that felt so horrific. It felt so powerful. It made Naruto tingle in joy. The monstrosity was connected to the man with his several balls floating behind him. It was linked to him somehow. He was controlling it. They had similar eyes which were a ring pattern. He was able to see that on the monster and vaguely see it on the man as well. The monster roared as it started to charge a beam of pure death. Seeing it, only thing that Naruto did was smile. The ghouls and monsters behind him raged out. No, they weren't ghouls, they weren't monsters. They were Curses. Whatever that meant, Naruto did not fully know. However, words were popping into his head. Suddenly he was back in the dark space. As Naruto was blasted away, he crashed on the ground hard. That is when he noticed a massive ceiling pattern appeared in front of him, blocking him from fully dragging the person out as the arm retreated back inside because it was being burnt. However, in that small little grab, Naruto was able to get images, and also he could feel the power coursing through him. It was a lot stronger than before, a lot deadlier. Even his bloodlust felt a lot greater. He was not sure what that person was, but if he were to have her to guess, it was him. Him that was somehow sealed away and yet here at the same time. However, unaware to him on the outside, his little pulling contest had triggered his power, his cursed energy to go haywire as it was seeking out its others to get complete. However, this was, well, causing certain reactions over the world. At the hidden sand, Gar of the desert, a red-haired child looked up, feeling a strange feeling course through him. At Kumo, the two-tail holder Yujito came to a stop. What is that? She asked herself, speaking to the Nibi, because it came from the beast inside, but there was no answer. The beast was just quiet. With the 8 tails, B came to a stop from his rapping, surprising the others because they knew how much he liked to rap. What's wrong, Edo? Said B, as he felt a strange sensation. I do not know, the 8 tail said. Meanwhile, at Taki, Fu snapped open her eyes as she got up, feeling a weird tingling feeling. However, she collapsed back to sleep. Maybe it was just some trick of the mind. The 3 tails Yagura, he also felt it, tingling through his very being, as he was currently locked in a very dangerous place and a situation. But yet this sensation, he looked through the window of his office. What was this? Did he fear something coming? Did he fear the attack from the rebels? No, it can't be that. Then what was this feeling, he thought to himself. On the run, Utakata, who wanted nothing to do with the bloodline purge, trembled as he came to a stop, feeling strange. Same for the 5 and 4 tails. They felt a strange tingling through their being. However, the woman, the white-haired woman, was the one to feel it the most. Her gaze snapped up towards the heavens. A look of confusion and shock was written all over her face. Master? She said to the sky. Even the underlings felt it as well. Despite the host that they were wearing, they could feel it inside of their beings, and they were truly confused. All of them turned towards her confused. She herself had no idea what was going on. Back towards Naruto, Kakashi had arrived on the scene. The destructive pulse of energy that Naruto released had eviscerated part of the forest, more like demolish. Trees were sliced into tiny pieces. The ground was sliced and ripped apart. It was almost like the ground had been pulverized in a slicing machine over and over again. His power went haywire. When Kakashi arrived, Naruto's feet was still buried in Zabuza's skull. The man stood there absolutely shocked. Time skip. The hidden leaf. Hiruzen and Sarutobi sat behind his decks. Team 7 arrived back home a week ago. Their mission to the Land of Wave was a big success. However, the one that made it that way was Naruto. The way he had brutally killed all of the targeted people that came after them. Hiruzen had no idea about Gato, as Naruto did not tell him anything about that. After all, Naruto still wanted to kill the old man, and that would come very soon. So he would not tell him anything about that. For now, all he needed to know was he was attacked by Gato's subordinates, and he used the pattern to follow the location back to where Zabuza was. They had asked him why he did not report to Kakashi and tell him. He said that he didn't want to waste the time. Hiruzen warned him about his behavior, not to mention attacking the family. He told him that if he ever did something like this again, he will kick him out of the ninja program and lock him away. The man was dead serious when he said that, but Naruto did not care in the slightest. He did not fear any of them. He was just waiting for the opportunity, and he had a feeling that it will come, much sooner than later. Time skip. As Naruto traversed the darkness, he was not alone though. It was the dead of the night. Sai was in front of him. Naruto had warned him not to show his face to him again unless he was bringing news that he was going to meet his master or he was going to rip him apart, limb by limb. Sai brought wonderful news though. As Naruto made his way with the man, he noticed all the masked individuals watching him from the shadows. However, those did not scare him or intimidate him in the slightest. It did not take too long for them to arrive. As Sai bowed his head, but Naruto bowed to no man as he stood there. So let me guess. You're his master, Naruto said in a sarcastic tone. Quite observing, the man said. Naruto blinked. I wonder if this man was serious if he did not notice the sarcasm. You know, I expected someone a lot younger. Someone that could actually put up a fight. If I decided to do... Well, Naruto shot forward, his nails, aiming to tear through the man's throat. However, the man pulled back as his cane turned into a blade as he blocked Naruto's nails. Naruto slashed and clawed at the man, but he deflected everything. However, as Naruto raised his hand, the man leaped away. His throne was split in half. At the level that he was, people could feel his attack coming rather easily. Well, strong people. But he doubted once he reached his full potential that they would be able to stop him. As Naruto came to a stop, "My mistake," he said, as the man had held up his hand to make sure that none of the others intervened. "Seems you're not an old bag of bones as I thought. One must not underestimate with just the eyes alone. That can easily get you killed." "Whatever you say. Now, how am I going to do this?" said Naruto. "Do what?" he asked. "Work for you from now on. I mean, you do send these people on missions. I want to go on those missions as well and do what they do. All these C rank, D rank bullshits are just a waste of my time. I want you to send me on the most dangerous missions you have. Something where I can fight actual strong people. In doing so, you're gonna have to find a way to place someone in my position for that stupid Team 7. And why do you think that I would assign you as one of my people? Well, you might be able to hold me off right now, but if you don't, I'll kill everyone here." "How exactly?" Danzo said. "I don't know yet, but I will rip all of them apart from the inside out and use their entrails to choke you to death." "Quite a mouth you have, and quite a dark way of thinking." "I've always been dark," said Naruto. "So, do we have a deal?" "First of all, you may address me as Danzo." "Well then, Danzo," said Naruto as he stepped forward and extended a hand. "I'm looking forward to our partnership." Danzo looked towards the boy. A tiny smile graced his lips. Time skip. 1 month later. 1 month flew by rather quickly. Next month was the Chunin exams. However, throughout this month, a lot has happened. An extreme amount has happened. For one thing, Danzo had found someone to take Naruto's place. This was a boy that had a special Keiki Genkai. Yes, he could adapt and became a doppelganger for a person. All he needed was your chakra and some of your blood. Once he had those, he could mimic the person, down to their entire personality and their chakra signature. Danzo had found the boy, alone, and turned him into one of his drones. At the moment, the boy was working with Team 7 with their bullshit, while the real Naruto was, Danzo had to say it, his root ninjas had the capability of remaining impassive in certain situations, but this boy was just pure death. He's never seen someone like this before. He loved everything about ending someone in the most brutalist way possible. Throughout the month, Danzo had sent the boy on 52 missions. 52 missions that he completed. Whenever he had to keep someone alive, he never left them in a way that they would not fear him. He scarred them with either his brutality or he ripped off their fingers just to make them, well, fear him. This boy was a true meaning to the word death. Danzo had no idea where the personality of such came from. However, at the moment the boy was in front of him with something that he wanted him to do. All of the missions that he needed, they had been fulfilled by this single boy. No team. Not to mention he was somehow able to erase himself completely. That was because he did not have chakra. He had this thing he called curse energy, which made him almost undetectable when he didn't want to be found. And in doing so, he has killed many powerful and high people in the most brutalist ways, putting the fear of coming into all of Danzo enemies. This boy had brought a true greatness into his mission taking. But now the boy had something as he lifted up his shirt, showing the seal on his stomach. And why would you want me to remove that? It is the only thing contained in the 9 tails. I'm not sure where you guys get that stupid rumor from, but I don't have any 9 tails inside of me. Danzo blinked at this information. What are you talking about? You heard what I said. I do not have any 9 tails inside of me. I've checked. I have something much more powerful and deadly. So tell me, can you remove this? My sealing specialist is not in the village at the moment. We'll have to return back to it. Naruto turn. I'll be on my way then, since you have nothing for me today. Besides, that Chunin exams is coming up soon. I want you to call back your little mimicry boy. I'll be doing the exam myself. I thought those were a waste of your time. Well, from what I've heard about the exams, that other ninjas from other nations will be coming here. And I intend to slaughter them all, just to send a message. And what is that message? Danzo asks. Naruto turned towards him with a smirk. That they should all fear me, he said, as he left the place. Even Danzo started to get worried by the boy's attitude. He had to keep him under control. At first he feared that the Kyuubi would do something against his seal, but now the boy is saying that the Kyuubi was not with him. Danzo had remained calm on the outside, but on the inside he was worrying. So if this was not the Kyuubi's doing, then what was this boy, he thought to himself. He had to find out more immediately. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see the next person do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. But I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.